This is Hino's Sport bringing you that heat and that fire. Obviously, Gervonta Tank Davis did Tevin Farmer a favor. He did him a big favor. Well, he didn't really do him a favor. It's just Tevin Farmer ducked him because Tevin Farmer made $1.5 million against JoJo Diaz. JoJo Diaz made $450,000. Gervonta Tank Davis was willing to offer him $2 million plus back end money on a pay-per-view platform format. So, you left $500,000 on the table. But see, this is the stuff that I try to tell people. Sometimes fighters are trying to help fight fans to understand what the inevitable truths are. This fight right here tells you everything that you guys need to know and why you guys need to stop being so critical of Gervonta Tank Davis. The guy's a man with confidence, purpose, and an abundance mindset. Gervonta Tank Davis is a special breed fighter. And I get it. Fight fans are mad because supposedly Gervonta Tank Davis is not moving on your schedule. Here's the problem with fight fans. Key operative word on your schedule. It's not about your schedule. Because I've talked about this and alluded to this recently in a live. Fight fans damned if they do and they damned if they don't. You had a good freaking fight with Badu Jack. His last fight, as a matter of fact, with my fellow Haitian brethren. And you know what you guys did? You went, you spit on that fight. You said, it was boring. How the heck was it boring when you guys are always clamoring for great fights? You didn't give that fight its truest and its properest respect. But that fight was damn near one of the best fights in recent fights. But you said it was boring because of the namesakes associated with the fight. These fighters are smarter. They understand how reverse bias, aka detractors, aka panderers, i.e. these variations of fight fans are when it comes to the sport of boxing. And these fighters don't want to put in the same level of commitment to give you the best fighting the best as they did in the past. And you can't blame them. Because when they do, you spit on them. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Gervonta Tank Davis is an undefeated fighter. Do you guys realize the level of skill that it requires to get people out of there in each and every one of your fights, whether it's a TKO stoppage or a KO stoppage? In his last fight against Gamboa, instead of sitting there criticizing him, he put on a great show in Atlanta, brought back notoriety to the ATL, which was a big thing that he did, dropped Gamboa 3 times, was never in trouble, showed you poise and patience, answered a lot of questions for fight fans, showed you that he can go 12 rounds. Basically hit Gamboa so hard that he caused an Achilles rupture. Wow. And in the last knockdown, got him out of there. Pretty much toyed with him the whole fight. And mind you, this is a fighter that didn't even make weight the first time around. Wow. I mean, sky is the limit for Gervonta Tank Davis. Y'all got to start putting respect on Tank's name, man. He's beating people up. He did step up. Gamboa is a step-up fight. It was an introduction to 135, but he fought a live old dog that was not ready to give up. This was the best that Gamboa trained in a long time. Even in the Terrence Bud Crawford fight, he was coming off a domestic situation. He wasn't at his best. But he damn sure wasn't his best in the Gervonta Tank Davis fight, and you saw that in the performance because look how long the fight went. The fight went 12. Gervonta Tank Davis had to use a lot of mental IQ and mental stamina to show you guys what he was bringing to the table. But again, fight fans, so critical of these fighters. And you wonder why these fighters are not giving you the best fights the best. So you have to ask your fundamental self a question. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I what's wrong with the sport? And I'm talking in the general sense. I'm not talking to the deep thinkers out here in these boxing streets. I'm not talking to the real G's, the super real G's, and the ultimate real G's out here in these boxing streets. I'm talking to reverse bias, aka detractors, aka panderers. Because they want their cake and they want to eat it too. Well, guess what? Fighters are watching your videos. Fighters are paying attention to what you're saying. And you know what these fighters are saying? Let me say it again. You know what these fighters are saying? So if I go out there and give you what you wanted, because Gervonta Tank Davis and Earl the True Spence is giving you front foot dominance. They're giving you fight fan favorite styles. But you're still overly critical of these guys? Come on. This is about the biggest Rudy Poo and Plum Plum Brainism stuff. Classic Doden Troglodytisms. Ultra fanboy with the ultra fanboy rhetoric isms. This is why fight fans should not have any say when it comes to the sport. Because you guys are the reasons. And when I say you, I'm talking about reverse bias, aka detractors, aka panders, are what's the reason that's what's fundamentally wrong with the sport of boxing and why it's in a soft market and why it's declining. Because promoters, networks, and fighters are not dumb. Not by a long shot. They see how you guys are acting. And what they're seeing is a bunch of mindless beasts, blind, leading the damn blind, that are sitting here not knowing what the heck they want. So you know what they're telling themselves? We're going to govern ourselves in a governing system to where we do what we want. And you fight fans are going to have to line up with it, whether you like it or not. That's how the sport has become in recent times. Because they don't trust you guys. And I don't blame them. Because when you have a Gervonta Tank Davis that's beating up people left and right, regardless if you care about what's going on with him, you're overly critical about this. You're overly critical about that. When the man actually gets exposed in the ring, okay. Now, is he merit some level of criticism? Yes. Is he not always doing what he's supposed to? Yes. These things have merit. These things are substantially credible when people talk about these things. But to sit here and to have an excessive viewpoint on it, and to sit here and to just point out flaws all the time, that doesn't help the fighter out. It's not going to motivate the fighter to want to go out there and give you guys the fights that you want. Because at the end of the day, these fighters listen to the climate of the people that are watching the sport. And when they see something like this, they're not going to galvanize behind it. I'm giving you guys three-dimensional thinking ability knowledge here. You can take it or you can leave it. But like I said, reverse bias, aka detractors, aka panders. And as fight fans, you have to be deep thinkers out here in these boxing streets to challenge this nonsense that you're seeing. Through content creation, through people that are just running their mouths in the comment section and don't know what the heck they're talking about, in their brain full of mush and brainwashed dodo headisms. You gotta challenge this stuff. Because when you have a fighter that is as special as a Gervonta Tank Davis, that we haven't seen since the likes of a Sugar Ray Robinson. I told you guys, this guy is a combination of Roy Jones Jr. meets Mike Tyson. Applaud it. When you got Vasily Lomachenko looking at Gervonta Tank Davis as his super fight at the lightweight division, that should tell you everything you need to know. Looking at a Teofimo Lopez, who's a super duper hype job variation there is, as a speed bump. And he's saying, I want to meet Gervonta Tank Davis when it's all said and done for all of the marbles and all the belts. He looks at Gervonta Tank Davis as a super fight. The fighting climate tells you that the super fight at the lightweight division is Loma versus Tank or Tank versus Loma. There's a reason for that. Because Tank is special and people know if Tank can land shots on Loma, it is over for him. So if you guys understand this, why not support Loma? Why not support Tank in being positive through reinforcements of getting him to fight the fights that you want? Because there's a way to go about this instead of sitting here and overly criticizing the fighter. Because that's not going to get the sport nowhere. It's not going to get the fighter nowhere. And it's not going to get you nowhere in terms of your viewership and what you want to see. I'm giving you guys manna here. Boxing manna. Take it or freaking leave it. This is Hino's the Sport. Check it out.